it's Miss Morgan here. I hope you are ready for another English lesson about the gingerbread man. So, I'm not sure if many of you have made a gingerbread man before, but now we are going to learn about recipes and instructions. So, before we start our learning, please can you write the long date, Wednesday the 29th of April 2020, and our LI to write recipe instructions. Now that you've done that, for today's lesson you will need your workbook, a pencil, please write with pencil and not with pens, and remember your leading lines with your writing, a word mat from the Grange website, your recipe pictures from the Grange website, and the recipe template from the Grange website. So they're all here. This is where you get them from on the online learning section, year 1 on the Grange website. If you cannot print, that is okay. You can copy it down from the video. Before we start, what is a recipe? A recipe is a set of instructions that we can use to make something. We usually use recipes for cooking. And what is an instruction? Instructions are written for someone who needs to know how to do something. So pause the video and explain to your adult what a recipe is and what an instruction is. Can you think of different things that we might use instructions for? So here I have some different things. We could use instructions for how to play a game, how to make something, and we use recipes, which are types of instructions, for how to cook something. So these are some instructions, recipe instructions, for how to make fruit pizzas. So the ingredients are digestive biscuits, yogurt, and 3 different types of fruit, for example, apple, bananas, and grapes. And equipment is what you need, like a plate, spreading knife, a sharp knife, and you need your adult. Now methods are the steps for how you'll be doing it. So first, place your biscuits on a plate. Then spread the yogurt onto the biscuit. Carefully cut up the fruit into small pieces. Ask a grown-up to help you with the sharp knife. Finally, put the fruit on top of the yogurt and enjoy. So, one of the most important parts of a recipe is your title, How to Make Fruit Pizzas, so that you can tell the people reading it what they will be doing. You need your ingredients so that the people know what they need to go and buy or what they need to get to do the recipe. You need the equipment so that the people know what they need, and you need your method. But also in your method, you need your time connectives. So first, then, finally, and remember next and after that. So you can use those, and you need some words that are called bossy words or imperative verbs. So bossy words are words that tell the person reading it how they need to do it. So place your biscuits, spread the yogurt, carefully cut, ask, put. So these bossy words are telling the person that you are writing the recipe for how they need to do it. We need to be very clear and use short sentences in recipes so that you don't confuse the person reading and they know exactly what to do. Or their recipe might turn out wrong, so we need to be very careful. How to make gingerbread men biscuits. So these are the recipes that we will be looking at. So we have our ingredients: plain flour, soft brown sugar, butter, egg, 4 tablespoons of golden syrup, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, and 2 tablespoons of ground ginger. And you need your equipment: a rolling pin, a gingerbread man cutter so that we can get the shape, a bowl for mixing, and a baking tray. So this is what you would need. So this is what we would write in the ingredients and equipment section of our recipe. Then you would need your method. First, put the flour, butter, ginger and bicarbonate of soda into a mixing bowl. Number 2. Then mix it together with your fingertips until it is crumbly. Number 3. Add the sugar, syrup and egg and mix. Number 4. Next, put flour on the table. Use the rolling pin to roll out the dough. Number 5. After that, use the gingerbread man cutter to make shapes. Number 6. Put the gingerbread men onto the baking tray and ask your adult to put them in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. And number 7. Finally, let it cool down and decorate your gingerbread man. So, as you can notice, we've also got numbers on our steps. We have to put them in order so that people do it in the correct order and don't mix up the steps. Because, for example, we need to mix it before we can cut it, and we need to add the sugar, syrup and egg and mix it before we can roll it. So you need to be very clear. So now, can you pause the video? If you have printed these, you can cut them out. But if you haven't, can you put these method steps into the correct order? Because we don't decorate our gingerbread man before we make it, so can you put these steps into the correct order? This will help you when you're writing out the recipe later. Pause the video to complete this. So this is our recipe instruction checklist. We need to use how to make in our title. We need to make a list of ingredients and equipment with our numbers. We need to write the steps in order of how to do it. We need to use our bossy words or imperative words like mix, put and add. We need clear short sentences. We need our time words or time connectives like first, then, after that, next, finally. And we need to use our thread fingers and our phonics mats for our spellings. Here is the word mat, just in case you haven't printed it. So we have plain flour, sugar, butter, egg, golden syrup, bicarbonate of soda, ginger, rolling pin, gingerbread man cutter, bowl, baking tray. Then we have some time connectives. Next, then, first, after that, finally, and some keywords: mix, together, crumbly, dough, cutter, oven and decorate. So you can use these words for spellings. If you are in Mrs. Coker and Miss Thurlow's phonics groups, now that you've ordered the steps for the recipe with the pictures, either by just numbering them in your books or by cutting it out and ordering them, can you tell your adult how to make gingerbread men and remember your bossy words? Then, can you draw the different steps, like from the pictures of the method in your workbook, and write keywords or simple sentences below to explain what you were doing in each step? And you can use the word mat and your phonics mat to help you. If you are in my phonics group, you can use this template. You can just copy it out, or you can download and print it from the website and use these sentence starters. First, get the something, then mix the something, add the something, use the something to make it flat. After that something, put the gingerbread men in the something to cook, and finally. So if you can't remember the order, you can just go back in the video a little bit and check. Remember to also write your ingredients and the equipment and the title. So remember, if you can't print it, that's okay. You can just copy out the subheadings: ingredients, equipment and method. And if you are in Mrs. Meta or Miss Huth and Miss Zadie's phonics groups, can you use the template? So remember, if you can't print it, that's okay. Just write the subheadings, and you can use the word mat for some really tricky spellings and write your own recipe for making gingerbread men. So here we have Yusuf from Matisse's class. He has written an amazing Jack and the Beanstalk story. Well done. And Sophia from Clee class has made some predictions about the gingerbread man's story. Well done for sending it in, Sophia. And Daniel from Picasso class has also done some brilliant gingerbread man predictions. So well done to all of you. Now remember, please keep sending in your work to the Year 1 email address, and you might see your work in a video. And please make sure that the children, you are writing your answers so that we can see your beautiful handwriting and your letter formation. Now, it's okay for adults to write the questions down for the children to answer, but please, please make sure, children, that you are writing and practicing your letter formation.